Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 5 and 6 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities over chapter 7. Alright, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 5 and 6 activities this morning. Go ahead and look at your grades for those activities as soon as you can and read the corresponding grading comments and let me know if you have any questions at all. I tried to be very specific on what I was looking for on the assignment. If you did, miss any points or didn't answer part of the question thoroughly or completely or clearly, I tried to be very specific on exactly why I had to count some points off. Most of you did well on the assignment. There were a few of you that seemed like you kind of rushed through it. You maybe didn't allot yourself enough time to complete the activities, and you waited too late to get started, especially on the assignment. But overall, most of you did well on the assignment. So I really appreciate those of you that are putting the time and effort in. So keep up the good work on that. Now, I did notice there were a few of you on assignment question 1 where it had you explain the importance of the price elasticity of demand. Some of you had problems explaining that, or you just omitted that part of the question completely in your answer. But basically, the price elasticity of demand is extremely important to firms who are producing goods and services, because it will determine their or very highly influence their pricing decisions. Since, remember, the price elasticity of demand is basically just how responsive consumers are to price changes. It should seem obvious to you that producers need to know that information about their particular good or service so that they can make more informed, more effective pricing decisions when they go to price their goods and services. Okay? So that's kind of what I was looking for on that question. On assignment question 2, some of you listed but didn't fully explain the determinants of the price elasticity of demand. I wanted you to explain each one of those and how each one affects elasticity of demand. All right? So if you need to go back and review over that information, go ahead and do that in the provided learning resources. Of course, you have your textbook, you have the PowerPoint slides, go over this, and of course your videos that I've linked for you. Okay. On assignment question 3, this is one that several of you had problems fully answering, especially the last part of the question that asked you to explain the relationship between marginal utility and total utility. And because of this, I have created a video and I posted it here on the announcements page, and I've also posted it on the activities page for you to review. Those of you that did have problems explaining that relationship between marginal and total utility. Okay, so if you had some issues with that, some problems explaining that on your assignment, go ahead and watch that video, and hopefully that will help you out. And if you still have questions after watching the video, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. All right. All right. So that's the assignment review. On the discussion, if you'll remember, the discussion that we had dealt with the elasticity of demand, specifically the price elasticity of demand for cigarettes. And most of you really provided some good information on that discussion topic. Most of you really provided quite a bit of detail in your answers, and I really appreciate that. It definitely helps to have as far as a good discussion, an effective discussion when everybody plays their part in the discussion and actually provides a lot of good information and examples and so forth. Excuse me. Most of you did very well on that, so I was very pleased with the discussion. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments, and some of you had some really good ideas on ways that we can deal with cigarette and more specifically tobacco or nicotine type products and the addiction that they have. All right. Most of you did well on the chapters 5 and 6 objective test. Just as a reminder, you can take that test as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded. And I will be opening those chapter tests later on in the semester to allow you to study for the midterm and the final exam. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so that's the basic review over chapters 5 and 6 activities. Like I said, most of you did well on those. So like I always tell you, keep up the good work on that. I really appreciate the time and effort you're putting in. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due next for our next set of activities. So you'll notice right now on the activities page, we are on week 5. And we had work due, of course, last night. So there's nothing else due this week, but there is work due early next week. So go ahead and start working on the Chapter 7 activities, which are due by Tuesday, February 20th, which is Tuesday of next week. So you've got just a little over a week to work on those and get those submitted. Chapter 7, by the way, deals with production and cost in the firm. And it's really the first of about 4 chapters that are going to cover how producers make pricing and production decisions. Okay? And so just kind of keep that in mind. So in Chapter 7, you're going to learn a lot of the common terminology that we need to know about when we start talking about production decisions in a firm. Things like explicit versus implicit cost, accounting versus economic profit, normal profit, fixed versus variable cost. That's a big one. Marginal product, the law of diminishing marginal returns, marginal cost. And then finally, towards the end of the chapter, we will learn about cost in the short run versus cost in the long run. Okay? And so this chapter 7, is going to lay the groundwork for the next 3 chapters that we cover this semester. Because the next 3 chapters are going to basically cover one or more of the types of firms the way that we kind of categorize firms in the types of decisions that they make and what they have control over and what they don't have control over in the market. And so there are basically 4 of those kind of categories of firms that we'll look at, and which basically is called the market structure. Market structure is just basically the set of characteristics that a particular firm kind of operates in, and it dictates the types of decisions that they make because it determines what they can and cannot do in the market. Okay, so we'll cover each of the 4 types of market structure, which are basically perfect competition. We have monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Those are the 4 market structures that we're going to learn about in chapters 8 through 10. But in this chapter 7, this is just kind of laying the groundwork for a lot of the things that we'll talk about in those market structure chapters. All right? So Be working on those those Chapter 7 activities, which are again due by Tuesday of next week, February 20th. Don't wait until the last minute on this set of activities. This is a pretty detailed chapter, so the more time you give yourself, the earlier you start on the activities, the better off you're going to be. You really need to allot yourself plenty of time to work on these activities. As you're working on them, if you have questions, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. All right, and that's all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime next week. Thank you.